All right, welcome to the Gies Online Masters in Business Administration webinar. I'm going to allow just a minute here for everyone to get connected and get settled. My name is Lori Hayes. I'm a coordinator in admissions and recruitment here at Gies Online, and I am joined by my colleague, Grant Sifser today, who will be assisting in the Q&A feature. I also have a student ambassador on this call that I'll introduce here in just a few minutes, but you can scan the QR code that you see on your screen. This is an excellent way for you to get connected with our team and our website. And today we're going to explore how the iMBA program equips professionals with real-world business skills and leadership expertise. But before we get started, we do love to hear where everyone is joining us from. So we have a poll on this next slide. You can also pop this in the chat as well. But yeah, feel free to scan the code and let us know where you're joining us from. I am out here in the Pacific Northwest in Bend, Oregon, and I lived in Champaign for many years. But yeah, let us know where you are. You can also pop it in the chat if you'd like. Oh, looks like we have Switzerland. That's exciting. Anyone else want to let us know where you're joining from? We have been having issues with our poll. Hopefully it's not giving me problems, but all right, Portland, Oregon, so close to Bend. Yes, Champaign, Austin, DC. All right, wonderful. West Africa, Columbus. This is awesome. I love it. This really represents the global impact of Gies Online programs. And there's some we've got some in the Upper East of the United States. I like that. Great. All right. Well, let's go over what we're going to be covering during our time together today. First, I would like to introduce our special guest and student ambassador, Patrick Surratt. Patrick, can you take a minute to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your professional background and where you are in the iMBA program.
Sure, thank you. My name is Patrick Surratt. I live in Washington, D.C., and I am a senior program manager for a consulting company supporting a few projects for the Department of Defense. This is my second semester at Gies. I'm extremely excited. I've got 4 really awesome classes that I'm excited to start. So classes start up on Wednesday. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm just really happy to be here with everybody. And, I was also looking for some information when I was trying to decide which university to go to. So please ask questions for me, and I'll answer them as best as I can.
Great, thanks, Patrick. And then we will be going over the University of Illinois, just a general overview, and Gies College of Business. I'll touch a bit on those, but we will have a more in-depth look at Gies Business Online and specifically the iMBA program. We will dive deeper into the iMBA curriculum and content, and then we'll chat about some application tips and tricks. If you do have questions, it is a little bit easier for us to keep those organized in the Q&A feature. So if you could please put questions there rather than the chat, that would be great. And I will be sure to be checking on that throughout our webinar today, and we will work on getting all of those questions answered. All right, so the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, I have several accolades listed here on this slide. The University of Illinois has a very strong reputation, not only in academia, but also in industry. We have approximately 35,000 undergraduate students and 20,000 graduate students. We're a land grant institution, which means we are committed to providing life-changing access to education at an affordable cost to learners all over the world. We are ranked as the #9 public university by U.S. News and World Report, and we're a top 5 National Science Foundation funded research institution, which highlights our strong emphasis on cutting edge research. We have over 500,000 plus living alumni, one of the largest alumni organizations. We have over 24 million library items, which you would have access to as a Gies Online student. And we are rated the #1 most disability-friendly campus in the US. Moving on to Gies College of Business, we were named the #1 biggest business school of innovation of the decade by Poets and Quants, the #1 accountancy faculty by BYU Accounting Faculty Research Rankings. In 2022, we were MBA Program of the Year by Poets and Quants. We are a top 10 public undergraduate business school in the nation by U.S. News and World Report. And there are over 81,000 Gies business alumni that you can connect and network with at events and online. So let's talk about the 3 main qualities of Gies online programs. Flexibility being #1. Gies online programs are 100% fully online. This means you can access the group projects and live sessions from the comfort of your own home, office, or anywhere you might be. We are also flexible in degree planning, choosing the number of courses that you would like to take and the order in which you would like to take them. You also get to choose a few of your focus area specializations to gear them towards your own career goals and interests. And our tuition is on a pay-as-you-go model, which means that you only pay for courses as you are enrolled in them. Stackability, we offer many courses and bite-sized options to stack into your next credential to provide learners an entry point that works for them wherever you are in your learner journey. We will go into stackability, the stackability option in a little more depth on the next slide. And then online by design, we have been delivering online courses through our iMBA program since 2016 and we were one of the first online MBA programs offered at an affordable price. We offer an innovative delivery of content without sacrificing interactions and collaboration with instructors and fellow classmates. Patrick, question for you. Why did you choose Gies, or did any of these qualities play a role in your decision to join us here?
Yes, a lot of them did actually. So I chose Gies for multiple reasons, but part of that was obviously the flexibility. I actually started out doing the MOOCs online, and that's where I actually found out about Gies, because I actually was enrolled with another school I hadn't started yet. And then I did a MOOC online, and really just, I thought the experience was great. The professor was great. And that wasn't even just the whole program, right? That was just the MOOC part of it. And so that was definitely the stackability was something that really attracted me. So, and it's the flexibility that made me too.
Perfect, thank you. All right, and then moving on to that stackability slide. I want to take a few minutes here because this is one of the qualities that I do feel is pretty unique to our program here at Gies Online. This slide represents all of the building blocks and credentials that we offer. There are those, the free MOOCs on Coursera. MOOC stands for Massive Open Online Course. And then we have non-degree single 4-credit courses, graduate certificates, and we also offer 3 full master's degree programs. All of these can complement an existing credential. All of these options allow for development of new and targeted knowledge. They all allow you to work at your own pace. And lastly, stackability is outcome driven, which means you will see career impact with each stackable step. So as you can see, we have something for everyone here at Gies Online, whether you're wanting to take a single course, earn a graduate certificate, or get a full master's degree. We have options that build on one another and work together. All right, another poll here, and you can also just pop your response in the chat if that's easiest. What might be holding you back from graduate education? Is it the cost? Is it possibly the time commitment? And let's see, I have something over here on my slide There we go. Sorry about that. Is it time commitment, online format, ROI, difficulty? Definitely, I'm seeing some time commitment. You know, our program, specifically the iMBA program, is designed for professionals that are in the middle of their career, often have families, they're very busy. So I can see why time commitment would be a concern. Cost for sure. And we do have some options, and we'll talk about that as later on in terms of cost. ROI, you want to make sure that this degree is going to be worth the time and energy. And hopefully Patrick will be able to shed some light on that later on in the webinar. And difficulty too. Also, one thing that I hear quite often too is just adjusting to an online education. This is something that many of us haven't experienced before. So that could also be something that might be holding you back. But I'm hoping that you will feel relief and that you can tackle this problem with no problem by the end of this webinar. Okay, so before we jump into the information for the iMBA, I do want to touch on our graduate certificate options. This is a great stackable option if you're not quite ready for the full iMBA. They consist of 12 hours or 3 courses of transcripted credit. The application process is very brief, and all of our graduate certificates are stackable into any of our degree programs, including the iMBA. You can see our graduate certificate options listed on this slide. We have a total of 13 graduate certificates. Some of them cover more general business skills and others are more accounting specific. A graduate certificate is just a great option if you want to get your feet wet a bit without jumping into a degree or want to try out some of our courses. And again, any of these options listed on this slide are stackable into any of our degree programs, including the iMBA. So it can count towards your curriculum. Even if it isn't a part of the iMBA curriculum, they would count as electives. So why the iMBA? The iMBA is a much deeper dive into the skills that you're going to need to run a business. You're going to hone in on skills like accounting, management, financial skills. You're also going to focus on learning business theory and discovering current trends and projects and problems that you see within companies. And then you'll figure out what the practical application is for those and how you can best approach those problems. A few quick facts and numbers for you. The total cost for this program is just over $24,000 and is more affordable than most comparable programs without sacrificing quality. You can complete the program in as little as 2 years or stretch it out to 3 years. And you actually have 5 years to complete the program if needed. We have 5 start dates with our next intake coming up in March. And the iMBA program consists of a total of 72 credit hours, and we will talk about what makes up those 72 credit hours here on another slide in just a bit. And another slide of numbers. The average age is 37 with about 11 years of experience. With that being said, we do have a minimum of 3 years work experience. That is one of the requirements to be admitted. And we're pretty strict about this requirement. So if you find yourself on the lower end of work experience, we do have our management program that might be a better fit for you. But also the IMSM, if that is where you start, it does fully stack into the iMBA program as well. 79% of our student population are domestic, and the other 21% join us from all over the world. 50 US states and over 100 countries are represented in the iMBA program, and 88 Fortune 100 companies. So there will be many diverse backgrounds with rich professional experience that will be represented in your group work and live sessions. Career impact, talking a little bit more about that ROI, the return of investment. The first 2 statistics here are how we show direct impact on your career, and that 65% of our students receive a promotion or accepted a new position during the iMBA, and 25% received a pay increase in their salary. and 95% applied what they learned from the iMBA to their work in real time. And moving on to the curriculum, you will have to complete a total of 72 credit hours or 18 courses. The 18 courses is made up of 6 specializations, and there will be 4 core specializations which are required by every iMBA student. And then we have a total of 5 focus area specializations where you will get to choose 2 that speak to your career goals and your interests. Every specialization is made up of 3 courses that work together to give you expertise in that topic. And then in addition to these 6 specializations, that are all the specializations that are listed here, we do have capstone projects that you will complete. 3 are required for the iMBA students, and capstones are designed to basically bridge the knowing and the doing gap, challenging students to apply their iMBA courses, work experience, and business knowledge and skills. Students work through a case study with a team on the group-based project, and they will deliver a final case presentation. So Patrick, can you tell us a little bit about where or how you have seen the impact from your courses thus far in your career?
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm pretty early into the program. I finished 4 courses last semester. But what I have been able to do is apply a lot of the concepts that I'm learning in the courses to my actual job, which I've seen huge benefits from, just in the way that I'm able to manage more effectively. And I've been managing for a while. You can see I'm a little past that 37 year average age for the iMBA, but I've been managing for a while. But it goes back to where you were saying it's not just about the theory; it's actually about the practical use of it too. And so my professors have been great about not just teaching the theoretical part of it, but actually going in and showing you how to implement a lot of the theory that they teach you. So I think my management style has improved. I've definitely brought in, I took a statistics course. I use that all the time. So I've really been able to kind of implement what I've learned into my current role.
Okay, great. And then Patrick, can you also just touch a little bit on your experience with any capstone projects?
I have not taken a capstone project.
Okay. Yeah, no, great. So basically the capstone project is just kind of like that thesis, that culmination of the specialization. And but it's a case study project where you get to choose your group mates, work on this project together. So, and again, 3 of those are required. Another unique offering that we have here at Gies Online are our embedded graduate certificates. So as an iMBA degree seeking learner, you do have the option to obtain 2 embedded graduate certificates while in pursuit of your iMBA degree. The addition of the graduate certificate, this is completely optional, and they can be selected from any of the 5 focus area specializations. Okay, and then a little note about the I. This refers to the method of delivery only. We get this question often. It is to signify all of the master's degrees offered online at Gies, and there will be no mention of the I on your transcripts or diploma. Oops, skipped a slide. There we go. You might be wondering how we are delivering this highly innovative content, and that has to do with our amazing faculty. So I'm going to talk a little bit about faculty here, but Gies College of Business is home to more than 215 full-time faculty across accountancy, business administration, including marketing, management, supply chain, operations, entrepreneurship, strategy, and much more. More than half of Gies faculty are actively engaged in research that is changing how business is taught and how business is done. We have over 70 faculty members who teach in online programs with industry and research expertise. We have 250 TAs to help within the courses and 55 Gies staff members in our teaching and learning department. All of these groups come together to create content that we deliver. The online faculty complete 40 live sessions each week, and we have over 19,000 videos created to date. We have 6 current studios in our business instructional facility, with 7 more to come in the near future as we complete a brand new building called Stephen Weimer Hall on the business campus. Okay, so online by design, we're going to talk about the 2 components that make up the Gies learner journey. So the first component is the Coursera MOOC. These are non-credit bearing courses that you complete asynchronously on your own time that cover foundational material. It serves as your digital textbook for each course. These offer specific career-aligned training. You will earn a digital certificate you can share on social platforms. You enroll through the Coursera platform. The content is made up of videos, self-assessed quizzes, assignments, and peer evaluations, and it is more self-paced and self-driven. The second component to courses is the high engagement component. The high engagement material builds upon the MOOC foundational material. It will give you the real world scenarios and projects to pull through the concepts you have learned in the MOOCs. You will have a 90-minute live class on Zoom each week where an instructor will give their lecture. You will also have small group breakout sessions in these live classes. They are offered several different times during the day to accommodate all of our global time zones, and you will just choose the time that works best for your schedule. Your faculty is available for office hours as well, where you can discuss current assignments and have discussions with your professor and TA as well. So together, the Coursera and high engagement components make up your 4-credit Gies Online course. Patrick, can you tell me a little bit about how you have balanced these 2 components and maybe what your time commitment is about each week per course?
Excuse me. Let's start with time commitment. Time commitment just varies depending on which course it is. For me, my quantitative, so anything with numbers takes a little bit longer. But I would say per week on average, I average probably so far 10 to 12 hours per week on each of my courses. And I usually take two each term. As far as the asynchronous and the synchronous, I try to do, for me, I like to do the Coursera MOOC first for that specific module for that specific week, because typically when you then go into your synchronous or your live session, the professor is referencing a lot of the material that you would have seen in the MOOC. Now, not to say you have to see it, but just for me, having a familiarity with the content prior to going to my live session works out really well. However, sometimes you have a class earlier in the week and you're not able to do that, and it's not a big deal. You can always go back and do the asynchronous part later. Or I've actually also opted to not go to my live course and actually watch the recording of it later, based on whether I wanted to review my MOOC first or I had dinner plans. So it's nice to be able to use the option of the recording, because when you're in person in a class, you don't have that option of then going back later and rewatching what the professor said, or skipping that class and watching the recording later. So it's very convenient to be able to watch those recorded sessions.
Great, thank you. All right, moving along to networking. This is another question we get quite often, is how do you network within an online program? We do hold several different types of events for our students to network. iConnects are meetups for current students and prospects, where we typically have a speaker for some professional development. Immersion trips are held both in the United States and internationally, and I'm going to touch a little bit more on those on the next slide. iConverge is our annual 3% in-person event. It's every September, and we invite all students and alumni to attend. It's a fun 3-day networking event. And the next grouping that we have, we refer to these as student-led meetups. Workplace is kind of like where Facebook meets LinkedIn. There's a lot of engagement among our students on this platform. They form groups, ask questions, network, and support one another. You will also have plenty of group work within your courses with your peers. Student-led meetups happen all over the world, and we have a slide coming up on that. We do have the ambassador group that Patrick is a part of that helps you to connect with prospective learners and answer their questions. And finally, the iGBA, that stands for the iDegrees Graduate Business Association. It's a University of Illinois registered student organization. It's exclusively for our enrolled graduate students. The iGBA acts as the official liaison between currently enrolled Gies Online students and the college and university administration, and encouraging the enhancement of curriculum and student experience. Additionally, the iGBA encourages professional development and just a sense of community by administering activities, programs, initiatives, and they just serving our currently enrolled Gies Online students. Patrick, can you tell us a little bit about what your favorite ways have been to network within the iMBA program?
No, so excuse me. My favorite was iConverge. So I did do iConverge back at last September. It was phenomenal. They do panel discussions. They have the opportunity to meet hundreds of your fellow learners. You toured campus. We did fun things like scavenger hunts, so that was fun. We did meetups afterwards, dinner, drinks, those types of things. I also am part of the iGBA. I do 2 committees for the iGBA, so that's really fun and puts me in touch with a lot of people. As you said, I'm part of the ambassador program. Workplace is a great place to go in. Workplace has been really good, I think, for a lot of people because you can go in, it's all students. They're kind of feeling the same stress that you're feeling, so you can connect with them on that level. There's a lot of supporting going on there. There's people who are looking for jobs and they'll throw out, hey, I'm looking for this, here's my resume. People will send job links to them or actually help them improve their resume. So it is a really tight knit, even though it's, our students are across the globe, that network is really close and people are eager to help out and connect.
Great, thank you. All right, and then moving on to that slide on immersion opportunities. Here are just a few photos of some past immersions. These are hosted about 4 times per year. There are virtual opportunities, and then we also have in-person domestic and international options. All degree learners are eligible to apply for this opportunity. They are extra cost, and there's about 30 to 40 students that are able to attend. The immersions are project-based, working with companies to solve a real-world business problem, and there will also be several fun cultural activities included. We wrapped up the South Africa immersion in this past August, and earlier in the summer, we were also in Malaysia and Singapore. Our upcoming immersions for 2025 will be in Miami, Vietnam, and Brazil. This is a great opportunity for networking and to experience learning sessions with various company stakeholders. And an immersion can also count as one of your capstone projects in the iMBA program. So yeah, a great opportunity there for our learners. And then iConverge, this slide represents our iConverge 24 event. It takes place every September. We had about 397 total alumni and students attend. 37 states were represented and 29 countries. I know someone attended from as far as Japan. So really great opportunity to meet your peers that you've been working with virtually, but meeting them in person for the first time, as well as the professors. I also spoke with several attendees this last year that were joining us for their 3rd and 4th time. So this is something you can continue to come back to even after you graduate. It's a great reunion for our students and alumni, something we all look forward to each year. And then workplace, these are just a few examples of some workplace posts, attending a live session while being at the beach, which I thought was pretty fun, Our Southeast Asia group holds an event. They call it the I Everything event each year, where learners from that part of the world gather together to celebrate each other's accomplishments throughout the year. You can also see a post from one of our students that won an award for his startup. So there's lots of fun posts on Workplace, and there's also just a lot of support from students for courses as well. Student meetups, here are just a few examples of some of our student-led meetups that have happened all over the world. You can see these are not just in the United States, but internationally as well. So if you're traveling through somewhere, you can toss it out on Workplace, say when you'll be there, and you might just have someone ping you back and say, let's get together for dinner. So another really, really cool opportunity to meet your peers in person. Learner support, moving on to the support that you will receive as an admitted student. We do have an entire student and academic success team available to you. They can go over the degree requirements with you, help you set up a degree plan. They have express advising hours available multiple times each week where you can hop on and off and get any answers, get any questions answered. And then you can also register for one-on-one Zoom meetings with an advisor or email them anytime. And Patrick, have you connected with academic advising at all?
I have.
Okay, what has that been like for you?
It was great. I used the express advising once, and then for kind of a more thorough experience, I used the one-on-one appointment, and the advisor was fantastic. We have my entire program set up for the next 2 years. So.
Okay, great. And then there's a question in the Q&A, kind of, having to do with learner support, I guess, but it's about balance. How do you balance the coursework and capstone projects with your professional work? Do you have any tips or tricks on how you balance all of this with your job?
I do. So initially, it was a bit overwhelming, right? I haven't been in school in a really long time. And so part of it was me just trying to put everything on my calendar. I use my calendar a lot. What I ended up doing is reaching out through Workplace and getting some best practices from a lot of the other students who were further along in their in the program, and they gave me some really great feedback. Different tools that I can use, Notion, like just different scheduling tools that are out there that make it a little easier for me to, one, prioritize my school and area and my downtime. And then secondly, just make sure that that it's a tool that I can bring in my work calendar from, my personal calendar and my school calendar, and I just have it all in one location, which is easier to manage. And
Okay,
scheduling
great.
it out in advance, like I schedule 2 hours here to study for this course, kind of thing.
For sure. Okay, and then another kind of question along that same line a little bit, but how much of the coursework is more group and team-based versus individual, would you say?
That's a great question. One I had when I started. It depends on the course, because there are some courses out there that you'll have 2 group assignments, and so you're not really meeting that frequently. Some of the quantitative, you're kind of doing that work on your own and then coming in as a group and just reviewing it to make sure everybody agrees on it. And then you have more some of your qualitative classes where you're actually writing papers together and you're doing research together, and it takes up a lot more time than some of the other courses do. So in general, I find that my quantitative team work is less, and my qualitative is more. And so for a qualitative, I probably spent, let's just pick my last one, last semester, probably maybe 4 hours a week, working with people on Zoom or Teams. And then, there's some work that you do for the group on your own, but face-to-face on Teams, probably 4 hours a week. But again, it varies just based on the class.
Okay, all right, great. Okay, and then moving on to that career support. So this slide lists the career resources that will be available to you as an iMBA student. We do have the Career Strategy Workplace group. This is a group on the workplace platform. This is where students and alumni can come together to network, job search, and also post any job openings. Big interview. Our students have access to this platform. It offers training courses and hands-on practice with mock interviews tailored to your specific area of interest or career background. Handshake. All students at the University of Illinois have access to the Handshake job board and career fairs. This is a campus recruiting platform designed more for our residential and on-campus students, but you will have access if this is of interest to you. You just might find that the Career Strategy Workplace group, LinkedIn, or other professional job boards to be more helpful. And then BMOC is a resume and career development tool that helps you improve your resume. It will provide feedback and advice on how to enhance your resume. All right, another poll here. So what part of the application looks the most difficult to you? You can also pop this in the chat. Are you most concerned about the resume, personal statement, the recommendation forms, maybe getting your unofficial transcripts or listing your work experience, or if you're international, maybe the English proficiency test? So go ahead and let us know. I see some in the chat mentioning the personal statement. Okay, and then resume. Yeah, looks like there's a little bit of everything here. So we're going to go over the application requirements on this next slide. And I will also let Patrick here in a few moments maybe shed some light on his personal statement and that sort of thing. But the application requirements for our degree programs are listed here. Just an updated resume. It can be very, very brief. Unofficial transcripts or mark sheets are also required. We don't need the officials until you are admitted. And then the academic statement and the short answer personal statement. So all of the prompts are going to be found within the application. There is a word count for each of those. I know from my perspective, some of the advice, is just, make sure you're addressing the prompt and you're meeting the word count and you're being authentic in your personal statement. It's a great opportunity for you to tell us your story and to highlight those things that you couldn't necessarily put on the resume. 2 recommendation forms. We will email your recommenders a form to be completed. It can be done in as little as 15 minutes. They can also upload an optional letter. No GRE or GMAT is required. We do have a scholarship application. It is available, but the deadline for spring has passed, and our next intake for scholarship applications will be for the fall 25 semester, and those are live on our website now. And finally, I have seen some questions in the Q&A a little bit, but if you're concerned that your profile might not be strong enough to gain admission to one of our online degree programs, the PAT program, which stands for Performance-Based Admission Track, might be a good option for you. It gives learners the opportunity to apply to PAT as a non-degree student. You take graduate level courses and earn credit before officially entering the degree program. The iMBA program has 3 PAT courses, and they're a part of the degree requirements as an iMBA student. If you complete those courses with a 3.0 average or higher, you will automatically migrate into the degree program after they are completed, and those courses do not need to be repeated. They transfer over. So this is an awesome opportunity if you maybe fall short of one of our requirements, but we would really like to see you in the iMBA program. This is an awesome pathway that we do offer. And is there anything else, Patrick, that you wanted to add maybe on the academic statement or what your experience was like when you were curating those?
Sure. I think you were spot on when you were talking about authenticity, and really just speaking to, I spoke to my experiences and my kind of, excuse me, kind of my journey for education and my professional life. And so I would just be very authentic, very honest, And I think that you'll do fine on them. They're not complicated. They're very straightforward.
Great. All right. Thank you. All right. And then moving on here, the application review process. After you submit your application, we will contact you if anything is missing. We accept applications on a rolling basis. So the sooner you apply, the better. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks before you will hear from us with either a decision or invitation to complete an interview. Interviews are just an opportunity for us to get to know you better. In the interview, you can expect some general questions about your career goals, experience working with a team, why they chose to apply to Gies, and any challenges or contributions that you can make if admitted. Patrick, can you tell us a little bit about your interview experience?
Sure. Again, it was straightforward. They asked questions that you would think they would ask. Why you applied to Gies, what how you think that you'll perform in a remote environment, how you plan to balance your academic, professional, and family life. Just typical questions that you would expect. And it was zero threat, right? Like the individuals who were doing the interview really just want to get to know you a little bit better, make sure that it's the right fit for you. So it's very low threat. Again, I think this is another place that you just have to be authentic, be honest, and ask questions. I asked a lot of questions. So that's your opportunity to get more information too.
All right, and then the deadlines. This slide has the upcoming deadlines here. So we do have our final application deadline for the spring 25 semester coming up on February 6th. This would be for a March start. The applications for summer and fall semesters are also available on our website if that would be a better time for you. And so why Gies Business? Well, hopefully you learned a little bit about the University of Illinois and our programs today. I do feel like the 3 things I hear our students talk about the most in terms of why they chose Gies Online is the flexibility, the affordability, and networking opportunities. You are able to complete your master's degree without leaving your job or any other responsibilities. Our price point is really unmatched, especially for the high quality of education that you will be receiving. And despite our program being online, you will have numerous opportunities to meet and connect with your peers in person. So we would really love all of you to join us here at Gies. I'm going to pause here and just glance a little bit at some of the questions that I'm getting. There are some questions about scholarship that I see here, about requirements, the typical amount provided to incoming student. We do have scholarships. It's the Coursera scholarship where 70% of the tuition is covered. And all learners are welcome to apply. You will be asked to explain your need a little bit for financial assistance or how you have demonstrated a commitment to fostering an inclusive and welcoming community or personal mentorship, community involvement, that sort of thing. There's a prompt and a word count, and you will also write that essay and submit that. And there's a question about what the percentage of applicants receive this scholarship. We don't really know, we're not really told exactly how many students receive that scholarship, but I do know that they are highly competitive. So do keep that in mind as well when applying for a scholarship. And again, the next scholarship application deadline is April 3rd for a fall August start. All right, and let's see here. I'm going to go to the Q&A. Can we waive some classes for people with CPA, CFA, and PMP certificates? So there's definitely some criteria that you have to meet for transfer credits. And I'm going to go ahead and just put our online, our email in the chat here. Please email us there if you would like to have the criteria that you need to meet for transfer credits, but the courses do need to be a part of at a graduate level, and the degree can't be conferred. So those courses for the certificates would not count because they weren't a part of a degree program. And then, do you help in the visa process for the immersion bit or international students? We do not. That is something that the students would have to handle on their end. And do the transcripts need to be recent in terms of printout copy? I have my unofficial college transcripts, but they're from 2018 or so. That is perfectly fine. A PDF, a picture even, will work for the application process. If you're admitted, we will then require official transcripts from your institution that would be either sent digitally or they can be sent in a sealed envelope from the institution, and then they would be considered official. Are there any tutoring services available through the program? Patrick, are you aware of any tutoring services available?
I believe that there are. I have never used them, but I was told that there were. So I can't speak that 100%. But what I can tell you is that there are a lot of people offering to tutor in workplace. So it's available. I can't speak to whether it's actually available through the university, but I think it is.
Okay. And then another just really awesome resource that we do offer are those office hours that our instructors they're required to hold those weekly. So if you are struggling with any content, I've actually even had students tell me where they were facing a problem at work and they hopped into office hours and the professor helped them apply kind of what they were learning in the course, but then have a solution at work like for the very next day. But when it comes to content, those office hours are also a great opportunity, get to attend those and answer any questions that you might have. You can definitely get some support there. And there are lots of TAs available as well. And then workplace, I just constantly see people reaching out as well for support. So I do think that you'd have lots of resources if you're struggling at all.
There's also the discussion boards inside each of the courses, right? And those are monitored by the TAs and monitored by the professors. And so if you have questions, you can ask there. And I drop into office hours even if I don't have questions, because sometimes people have questions that I haven't even thought about. And I find that extremely helpful.
Okay. And then Patrick, I have a question here about Asia time zone friendly office hours. The office hours are probably during our business hours?
So there are all kinds of business hours.
Okay.
I've seen them they're based on Central Time, right? But I've seen them at 9 p.m. Central Time. So I don't know what that is in other countries, but they do them as early as I've seen them at 8 a.m. I've seen them as late as 9 p.m. And they do them, I've seen them on Saturdays, I've seen them on Sundays. So the professors and the TAs do a great job just trying to make themselves available.
Okay, great. And then we have a question about the CPA exam or being a practicing CPA. Correct, those will not waive the accounting classes, unfortunately. There's a list of criteria, but feel free to email us if you are interested in transferring credits, and we will send you the criteria for those. It's a case-by-case basis. That's why I'm not going to get into a lot of detail here on transfer credits, but definitely email us if you feel like you might be qualified for some transfer credits, and we can break it down for you. And let's see here. Are students able to work as a TA in lieu of tuition assistance? I do not believe we have that option. There are certain kind of TA situations, but you have to have had so many credit hours, and you would want to reach out to our iSupport team, and they will be able to assist you with that. But you have to be fully enrolled and already taking some courses in order to help as a TA. And our master's degree transcripts. Okay, great question. Glad someone asked this one. Are master's degree transcripts okay, or would you also be required to submit the bachelor's? The graduate college will require that you submit your transcripts from any degree conferred. So, yes, we will need the bachelor's and the master's when you apply. Both will be required. What happens if you don't complete the coursework within 5 years? If life happens and it will set you back a year, does that get taken into account? So the graduate college, that is their strict timeline, 5 years from your start date. If life happens, you are able to take up to a year off, but no more than a year. If it has to be beyond a year, then you would have to withdraw from the program and then reapply when you were ready to come back. So that is kind of how that works. But also I would just suggest talking with an advisor, letting them know your situation and what options you have. Can I apply without a bachelor's and master? I finished a whole master, but I didn't attend graduation due to a master thesis. Okay, so if you don't have a bachelor's degree, you are able to apply to the PAT program, which we discussed earlier. It's pretty rare that we admit someone to our programs that doesn't have a bachelor's. But you're welcome to apply, and I would just highly suggest that you address in one of the essays, why you don't have a bachelor's and why you feel like you should that you are qualified to be admitted to the program. So you would want to just apply to the PAT program directly, though. Oh, perfect. That's a great question too. Can I attend graduation ceremony on campus once we complete the iMBA program? Yes, we love our students to come to campus. We have convocation twice a year, every December and every May. So we just had our December graduation. Please, we have an in-person ceremony. We have, everybody's there. It's great. So we would love for you to attend. All right. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide here. I just want to see how you think we did today, because I'm really hoping that you got most or all of your questions answered. So let us know on this poll how you feel about today's webinar. And again, I put our email in the chat. So if there are any lingering questions, you can definitely email us anytime. I see a few more coming in the Q&A, and we do have a couple more minutes, so I'll get to those before we log off. Revisiting the credit hours, is it that 6 core and 3 electives are half of what's required? Okay, I'm going to put the breakdown for the curriculum, that link. I'm going to put that in the chat now. Bear with me one second here. And this will give a nice breakdown of the curriculum. Okay, so how this works is there are 4 core specializations required by every student. And then we have 5 focus area specializations where you just get to choose 2 of those, or you can choose 1 focus area specialization and what we call an elective path. Our elective path is made up of any 3 electives of your choice. So it's a total of 6 specializations or 5 specializations and 1 elective path and 3 capstone projects. And that is the requirements for the curriculum and what makes up your 72 credit hours within the iMBA program. Additional question for transcripts. If you need all transcripts, even if no degree at the other school, we do not need, if you attended a school where you transferred credits over, but a degree wasn't conferred, we do not need the transcripts for that institution. That will not be required. And our graduate college does all the calculations of the GPAs for our international students. So if you're worried about sending in any transcripts or mark sheets from an international institution that's not on a 4.0 scale, our graduate college handles all of that. No need to worry about that. Does Gies host any job fairs? So again, I talked a little bit about those career resources, but you can obtain a photoless student ID card here from the University of Illinois. Anything that we are offering as a virtual career fair, an in-person career fair, you are welcome to take full, you can have that and you can attend those. So you would have access to those events as well as a Gies Online student. What resources are there for preparation for the interview after the application? I would just say there aren't necessarily any resources. I would just say go over your application that you submitted, your personal statements, kind of just know your why. Like, why are you applying to this program? What are your goals? And what are you going to find challenging about the program? What are you going to bring to the table? Like, what's going to set you apart? Those are just some things to definitely keep in mind for the interview process, and just be yourself. It's not intimidating at all, I promise. But we don't really have any resources out there for you to prepare, but just knowing your goals, knowing, why you want this degree, what you're hoping to get out of it, and looking over your application beforehand. What GPA do you have to maintain in the program? 2.75 to successfully complete the program. Are we able to access any amenities on campus if we live in the area? Some are accessible to our online students. Some of the amenities are not, but that the photoless student ID card, the office that you obtain that from, can help you know what you will have access to. Okay, all right, we have about 3 minutes left. So the interviews are virtual. Yes, all the interviews are virtual, none in person. So I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. But Patrick, any last minute thoughts? Anything I missed here today?
Excuse me, I don't think so. I think it was pretty thorough, but
Okay.
I know that there's it's a lot to consider. And the one thing I did want to talk about real fast, I know we don't have a lot of time, but compared to a lot of the other online programs, like it looks like this one has a lot of credit hours that are required. But I think return on investment is so much higher because these courses are just they're so beneficial to, I mean, if you're getting an MBA, there's a reason you're getting an MBA. And to choose a program that actually offers this wide range of courses that will really prepare you to go into industry is extremely important. And they're not just handing out a certificate, right? You're earning this degree, and they're really preparing you to get into industry. So I just wanted to say that really quickly. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you so much for all of you that attended this webinar today. Again, reach out to us at giesonline@illinois.edu if you have any questions. We have an entire team of admissions counselors and a recruitment and admissions team here, and happy to help and answer any questions that you have. And Roxanna, thank you so much for hopping in last minute and helping in the chat and Q&A. And Patrick, I can't thank you enough. We can't do these events without our ambassadors. Thank you for taking the time to be here and sharing your experience with us. We really appreciate it.
Allowing me to be here. It's my pleasure.
Great. All right. So thank you everyone for attending, and please reach out to us if you need anything, and have a great night. All right. So long.